Hello, everyone. I am finally doing my review of Ridley Scott's Napoleon. I saw this a couple of weeks ago, and basically the only reason why I saw this was because my friend wanted to see it, so I went and saw it with him, and we actually enjoyed it. We were laughing our asses off during a good part of it. I didn't want to see it because I wanted to wait until the full on 4 hour, 4.5 hour director's cut because I figured Napoleon's story is a massive epic story. So being able to tell that in 2 hours or 2.5 hours, I mean, come on, you're not gonna be able to do that. It'd be like trying to do Alexander the Great or Caesar in 2 hours. Like, so I just wanted to wait and see the big ass version of it. And I knew, judging from, well, yeah, like for example, Ridley Scott's Kingdom of Heaven, the theatrical version, when I saw it in the theater way back in the day, I thought it was an okay movie, but the director's cut blows it away. I mean, it just adds so much to it. So I was like, well, Ridley Scott has a history of doing that. So I figured I would just wait for the director's cut, but my friend wanted to go see it, and I'm glad I saw it in the theater. I mean, it's getting a lot of shit. Like a lot of historians and stuff don't like it, and I get it. I mean, it's not a historically accurate portrayal at all. I mean, but I enjoyed it. I mean, I was just happy seeing one. I was just happy seeing a epic on the big screen. Two, I was just happy seeing a Napoleonic Wars movie on the big screen. Like, when was the last time we had that? Master and Commander? Well, guess what? That was almost 20 years ago. So it was just nice having this on the big screen. Um, let's see. Let's check the box office. Yeah, it's kind of a big discrepancy. Yeah. Well, let's say it cost 200 million. So it's made 200 million so far. So it's losing a lot of money at the box office. With a budget like that, it probably needed to make about 5 or 600 million. But seeing how it's going to be on Apple Plus, they're probably kind of okay with that. But you know, and the thing is, if it's not financially successful, we might not get any movies like this. Like, how long have we been wanting a Master and Commander sequel? I mean, my God, yeah. And Ridley Scott's last couple of movies have not done all that well. Like, let's see. He's just a grumpy old man. Absolutely. And well, yeah, basically on this, we're just going to go into everything. I mean, we might as well. Might as well. I don't know what the hell this is going to be. Okay, so it's going to be the little kid from the first one. Alright. Hopefully they didn't give him too big of a budget on that one. But yeah, his last couple of movies haven't been doing that well. Like maybe made a profit. But this one, oh my God. He should be glad this didn't kill his career. Look at that. Oof. Oh. I mean, he probably lost 200 million. I mean, that's one of the biggest bombs in history. Let's see. It's supposed to be an alright movie, though. Yeah. I mean, I'll check it out, I guess, but the helmets look kind of stupid in it. But, yeah, he hasn't really. Yeah, that was supposed to be shit. I guess his last successful movie was probably The Martian. Let's see. Yeah, I'm surprised it made some money. I thought that was a bomb, but alright. Wasn't supposed to be good though. Yeah, The Martian. Oh yeah, he made some money on that one. But I mean, Ridley Scott's one of the greatest directors of all time. I mean, love him or hate him. I mean, The Duelist, great movie. And that was another reason to kind of be excited about Napoleon, because this is the first time he's gone back to the Napoleonic era since his first movie. Yeah, if you haven't seen this, definitely check it out. I got it on DVD. But I mean, look at that. Great movie. Great movie. I mean, it's boring. You could have taken at least 20, 30 minutes out of it, but what it does great. So, oh yeah, Legend. God, I haven't seen that in forever. Never even heard of that one. You did Black Raid? I didn't know that. Yeah, that one was okay. Haven't seen that since I was like 10 watching it on TBS. So, and I'm like the only person who really likes this movie. Yeah. I mean, great soundtrack, great visuals. I mean, yeah, the story and stuff here. But, yeah. And you got the most Frenchman of all time, Gerard Depardieu, playing an Italian. So, gotta love it. Gladiator. Yeah, that's a all-time classic. Black Hawk Down. Black Hawk Down, not cock. Thank you. It's one of the best modern war movies of all time. I never saw that. That looked pretty good, though. Good cast. Kingdom of Heaven. I love the director's cut. Really, really good. Never saw that. Never saw that. That was supposed to be pretty good. Never saw that. That looked like crap. Everything I've seen of that looks like crap. Never even heard of that. Never saw it. I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck that is. But yeah, I mean, he's a great director. I don't always agree with his vision and stuff, but yeah. And he's a very smart man, too. Like, a lot of people tend to act like he doesn't know what he's talking about, or he knows. He knows. Which is why there's really no excuse for how historically inaccurate this movie is, because Ridley Scott knows his history. And watching the audio commentary for Kingdom of Heaven, I mean, even the screenwriter was like, yeah, we know the story, we know the history, and if it didn't make it in the movie, we chose for it not to make it in the movie. So they know their history, they know their stuff. Like, I mean, for instance, right here, I mean, Place de la Révolution, I've actually been here. I mean, she was supposed to have either her hair was cut short or she had it all bundled up. But I guess Ridley Scott decided to do this just to show her as, you know, a monarchist, pretty much, I guess. Highfalutin and all that. And I thought the beginning parts with Napoleon and Barras was interesting. But the movie didn't really go into the French Revolution. It didn't go into really the political shit that was going on. I mean, that would be a whole movie in of itself. In fact, I think there was like a TV movie from the 80s dealing with the entire French Revolution. I think it was for like the 200th anniversary or whatever. And I mean, that's like a 4-hour mini series essentially dealing with it. So a lot to deal with. And of course, people are looking to say, well, Napoleon wasn't that Marie Antoinette's execution. And well, yeah, but I mean, yeah, not that big of a deal. But I don't even know really where to start. I mean, the movie starts off with the Siege of Toulon. And I actually thought that was a pretty good battle scene. Let's see if they actually, somebody's posted that. Da-da-da. Because I actually thought that was a pretty good battle. I mean, it wasn't all that accurate, but, you know, it was close enough. And they filmed it in Malta, so it had the right look of a Mediterranean, you know, fortified port city, pretty much. And the thing I really liked was just how violent the movie was. Yeah, God. The hell did they film this with? This looks like shit. Are you even going to be able to see that? That's 720p my balls. Anybody else got a better clip of this? Does not look like it. Well, I just wanted to show the battle because basically when the battle starts, Napoleon's riding a horse and his horse takes a direct shot from a cannonball. I mean, it was just fucking brutal. And I was glad because, yeah, I mean, most of the worst horrific injuries and deaths I've read about in the Napoleonic Wars were to horses. You know, they were getting their legs knocked off by cannonballs, they were getting disemboweled, they were getting their faces knocked off, their jaws knocked off by cannonballs, and their tongues were just hanging out of their half skulls. I mean, it was just horrific. So, yeah, and then they are fighting the British. All right, here we go. Yeah, when I saw this in the theater, I was like, holy fucking shit. I mean, I was like, oh my God, me and my friend were just like, oh. And I will say that's one good thing about the movie is it's very violent, but, you know, it's realistic. Watch this. Oh, I think they even censored some of it. Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, because that shot went on for a little bit. So, yeah, I thought the first battle was good. Austerlitz, you know, it wasn't accurate at all, really, but it looked cool. Yeah, Austerlitz looked cool, especially the part with the cannonballs hitting the ice and everything. Like that was really cool. See if I can pull up some of that. Yeah, hopefully it's actually in good resolution. But yeah, I like that one, even though, like I said, wasn't accurate. But yeah, are we ever gonna get an accurate portrayal of Yeah, are we ever gonna get an accurate portrayal of? Oh my God, these fucking ads. Are we ever gonna get an accurate portrayal of the Battle of Austerlitz? Who knows? All right, but yeah, let's see. And I mean, the Battle of Austerlitz is his masterpiece. I mean, there was just so much going on there, and the movie doesn't really cover that. I mean, I guess it shows his genius, but I mean, they don't have the sunrise at Austerlitz where Napoleon saw his destiny and stuff. And I mean, the battle is pretty spread out, as you can see. Like, I mean, this is a couple of miles here. But the battle in the movie basically looks like it's just filmed in Tielnitz, and that was a small village with like I think hedgerows and maybe a vineyard and stuff like that. And that was where basically the Allied army attacked first. And you know, in the movie it kind of looks like it's basically just this part of the battle, but I mean, there was so much going on here. I mean, you had Lannes, who was one of the best French generals, going up against Bagration, who was one of the best Russian generals, maybe the best Russian commanders. So that was a huge fight. These two guys going at it, equal size force and everything. You had Murat versus Liechtenstein and the Russian Guard cavalry. I think this was the biggest cavalry on cavalry fight of the entire Napoleonic Wars. Like you had over 10,000 horsemen going at it. And then, of course, you had Vendôme and Saint-Hilaire taking, surprising the Russians with a attack. And this was all covered in fog, so the Russians had no idea these guys were coming. They just came out of the fog and retook the high ground and all that. So, I mean, it was a very awesome battle. Let's see. Oh, no. What's going on here? So see, this looks like Tielnitz. So you got the small village and all that. Then you got the columns of Russians and Austrians coming. So I was like, all right, yeah. But in the movie, it basically wants you to think that the entire battle was just this, when in actuality, this was just a small part of the battle. Yeah. But I will say the costumes in the movie is great. They're probably, and I guess this is supposed to be Vendôme and Saint-Hilaire's attack on the Pratzen Heights, which should be about a mile to the to the north over here. Not here. Like, no. And besides, why would you be attacking? So, just logically, it doesn't make sense. But, yeah. Well, and the important thing about Tilnitz is the French only had, I think, 2 battalions guarding Tilnitz. So the entire French right wing was just like 1,000 men being attacked by several columns here. But the brilliant thing is, while the Russians and Austrians sent so many troops down here, they left their center empty. So that's why Napoleon was able to smash them here. And yeah, they were only going up against 2 battalions, I think, commanded by General Morin. And he had, I think there was a battalion over here on Sokolinsk's castle too. So, the Austrians and Russians were having a tough time getting through here. But then, when they think they're about to break through, oh, here comes Davout with a couple of thousand men to save the day. So, boom. And these guys had marched like, I think, 36 hours straight or something crazy, because I think they were having to come from Vienna or somewhere, so they had to haul ass to get to the battle in time. They got here right in time, filled the gap, and held them off while Napoleon destroyed the rest of the Allied army. So yeah, let's see. So yeah, Lens defeated by Bagration. He pulls back. He was basically the only part of the Allied army that didn't break, so they, orderly retreat and all that. Murat drove the cavalry back. The Russians sent their Imperial Guard in against, I think, Vendôme, and Vendôme beat them, sent them running. And then the Austrians and Russians retreated here. Davout and Soult came down, chased them across the pond. Now, the whole pond thing, that was probably the most visually striking scene of the entire movie, maybe. I mean, it just looked so fucking cool. Let's see. Now, this is kind of a myth / legend, how bad this went. Because the pond, I think, is only, it's not that deep. I mean, it's a pond. It's not a river or a lake. But look how just awesome this looks. I think, the pond was drained after the battle by Napoleon. And, they found a couple of cannon in there. They found, I think, the bodies of 150 horses, but I don't think they found any men in there. Now, if you fell through the ice and, you got wet, you could die from frostbite and whatnot, but I don't think anybody, really drowned in there or anything, but, it was something. But, yeah, seeing this on the big screen, this was definitely visually stunning, yeah. Now, before that, I kind of just remembered was the pyramid thing. Yeah. Now, I got kind of excited. I thought, did they not have a clip of that? Let's see. My friend didn't even know Napoleon went to Egypt. I was like, oh, yeah. I mean, and along the way, he defeated the Knights of St. John at Malta, who hadn't been defeated in, hundreds of years. So, yeah. He did that on his way to Egypt. This was a kind of a cool scene in the movie. I was expecting, because, let's see. Yeah, the Ottomans show up. They had the Ottoman army there, the Mamelukes and all that. I was like, oh, fuck. Are we actually going to get to see the Battle of the Pyramids and stuff? But no, they just show Napoleon shooting the pyramids for some weird reason. I'm like, what? Well, that was the biggest, thing on the internet for a while. Everybody was like, did Napoleon shoot the pyramids? No. So, yeah, but I was like, oh shit. I was all excited, hey, we're going to have the Battle of the Pyramids and everything. Nope. That was a cock tease. But it was still cool seeing all of this stuff. And one thing that was interesting too was in the movie they show a lot of Napoleon's marshals, but I don't think they name any of them. They don't say Messina, Ney. And speaking of Egypt, there was one part where you got to see a black field marshal or general. And I smacked my friend on the hand because last year he and I read The Count of Monte Cristo. And I was like, dude, that's Alexandre Dumas' father. He was like, what? No way. Yeah, that was the biggest nerding out scene in the entire movie for us was when we got to see Alexandre Dumas' father. So yeah, that was cool, but they don't spend any time on the marshals. They don't spend any time explaining who they were, and these guys were badasses in their own right. I mean, Ney, Ney was the bravest of the brave. He was supposedly the last Frenchman to set foot in Russia during the retreat. I mean, it was, yeah. The guy they got to play Ney didn't even look like Ney, too. I'll talk about that later on. Guy didn't even have red hair, for crying out loud. But yeah, I mean, the battle scenes for the most part were okay. Um, the last one, Waterloo, I'll talk about that later. But yeah, let's kind of go through. This part was pretty brutal. Yeah, what the hell was that computer? Let's see. Yeah, this definitely showed how brutal Grape Shot is. Yeah, just people exploding. Yeah. One problem I have too is all the cannon in the movie are basically the same. I guess these are supposed to be 12 pounders. I mean, I was like, where are the 6 pounders? Where are the howitzers? Yeah. Artillery was very diverse at this time. So, yeah. Now, a lot of people were complaining about Napoleon and Josephine. I mean, it's an interesting story. I mean, hell, there's been entire movies devoted to Napoleon and Josephine. Like, there was like a. Oh God, there was a movie with Marlon Brando. I can't remember what it was called, but he was playing Napoleon, and let's see, and it was like this supposed to be a dumb love story movie with Napoleon and oh wow, Marlon Brando playing a Mexican, I guess. But yeah, he was. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, he was playing Napoleon, and he was like, his performance was like full on serious, like, and it was so much better than the movie he was in. Yeah, Desvier or whatever, and yeah, it was like I watched it and I was like, man, like he just head and shoulders above everything else in the movie. And so, I mean, there's been plenty of movies based on Napoleon and, or should I say, Napoleon and Josephine. So I don't know why Ridley Scott wanted to devote most of the movie to their relationship. I will say, though, that is where most of the humor comes in. I mean, me and my friend were just laughing our asses off. It's just the dialogue between the characters and how Joaquin Phoenix portrayed the character. Joaquin Phoenix portrayed Napoleon as stoic and very just odd and autistic. And Napoleon may have been autistic or ADHD'd or something because he was so brilliant. And just how flamboyant he was too, like, and fiery. Like, maybe he was bipolar. Like, he could literally just. Well, he was very charismatic and passionate and fiery because Napoleon was basically Italian. I mean, his original name is Napoleone Bonaparte. You know, he changed it to Napoleon Bonaparte when he moved to France to try and sound more French, but he was really Italian in origin. Hell, French was his second language, so I mean, yeah. So he was more of a fiery, impetuous guy. And, you know, that helped with his charisma, getting soldiers to fight for him and generals and stuff, but it also kind of fucked him over too, because he made a lot of decisions that ended up being really big mistakes because he was so fiery and stuff. Like the whole War of Haitian Independence, you know, Saint-Domingue was the most profitable colony in the entire New World. I think they made more money than the United States did at that time because of sugar production and all of that. And Napoleon, when he took over the Louisiana territory, he wanted to, you know, basically enforce his rule over that land, turn it into a French empire. And they were like, well, we're going to need a lot of money. And he was like, well, let's reinstate slavery on Saint-Domingue. You know, I don't care. Do it. We need the money. And so that basically kind of re-kicked off the War of Haitian Independence, and they ended up losing that one. And in fact, when he was exiled to St. Helena, he said that was his biggest political mistake of his entire career, because he should have just left the powers that be, the Creoles and the mulattoes, who were the ruling class of Santa Mark. He should have just left them in control instead of trying to, reinstate slavery and French rule and all that. Because, they were basically paying the French, tribute and everything. So, should have just left it alone. But that just shows, like, why he was who he was. Like, yeah, it was a dual-edged sword. Yeah, he could be inspirational. He can be dramatic. He can be greatness, but he could also be foolhardy and angry and make enemies. Like, his biggest mistake probably was making an enemy of the Austrian ambassador Metternich, because how many wars did Napoleon have to fight against the Austrians? So making an enemy of their prime minister is not a good idea. And I think this was supposed to be the Battle of Borodino, and they got Napoleon riding a horse into the battle. Now, a lot of people are like, yeah, Napoleon never did that. And I'm like, yeah, but he's been in the front lines, especially when he was a young officer. But, it wouldn't have made sense for him to be doing this at this point. Now, to be fair, though, it was expected of commanding officers to lead from the front. Like, these guys are most likely officers. Like, this could be generals. Hell, field marshals like Ney led charges from the front all the time. Marat? Hell, at his greatest cavalry charge at Eylau, he didn't even pull his sword out. He just rose his riding crop in the air, swung it forward, and 10,000 cavalrymen followed him into battle. Yeah, this was not crazy at the time. Officers could, they usually were like 20 yards out in front of their men. Yeah, because their men are following where they go. So you had to lead from the front. That's why the flags and everything are important, because the men are like, all right, where are we going? All right, follow the flag. Follow the officers. So, yeah, Napoleon wouldn't have done that, but he could have. It wouldn't have been that crazy. Now, to be fair, he would have been the number one target on the battlefield, but, Now, all this stuff is pretty interesting. The scene was pretty damn funny. Napoleon and his brother, and I think they improvised that scene, the actors. So, was I okay with Joaquin Phoenix's performance? He was too old, yeah. They should have had Timothée Chalamet playing young Napoleon. I think that would have done a lot better. And because I actually thought Joaquin Phoenix did a great older Napoleon. Yeah, he was like post 1810 Napoleon. I thought he was really good. Just kind of melancholy, older, fatter. I thought he was really good at that. They should have had somebody young and fresh be young Napoleon. I think they should have had Timothée Chalamet do this. Well, and the fucking thing too is, and I had to tell my friend this in the theater. I'm like, Josephine's the older woman here. She's like 6 years older than Napoleon. So, she's almost like a cougar for him. So, and that whole dynamic is lost because Joaquin Phoenix is like, what? He's probably way, way older than her. Let's see. Yeah, 49. Oh, yeah. He's, 14 years older than her. So, kind of weird. But, yeah, like I said, they should have had somebody young and fresh like Timothée Chalamet. I'm sure he probably would have jumped to work with Ridley Scott and to play the iconic role of Napoleon. So, I think that would have worked a bit better. And then, so I thought Joaquin, like I said, he was a good older Napoleon, but they needed somebody else to play. But, just look at the costumes. The uniforms, the costumes are just fantastic. Really, really good. Yeah, fabulous. And, their relationship, Napoleon, Josephine, it was kind of embarrassing, but, imagine, people 200 years from now getting to see your text messages, your conversations with your wife or your fiance or your girlfriend. Like, you would be kind of like, ugh. I don't want the world to see that. So I think that's what Ridley was kind of going for, like really trying to see their relationship. And it was a toxic relationship. I mean, they cheated on each other left and right. But I feel like Napoleon really loved Josephine. I think so. Now, a lot of guys are saying, well, why are they spending so much time on that? That was such a small part of his life. Well, I mean, ask Napoleon. Was it a small part of his life? I mean, yeah, we do a lot in our lives. We travel, we work, we watch movies, we read books, we play video games. But, I mean, speaking for myself, I mean, the best part of my life is when I'm getting to spend time with the woman I love. So, if we asked Napoleon, how big was Josephine in his life, he probably would say it was a big deal. Yeah, it was Waterloo. That was the only part. Basically, so the first 3/4 of the movie I was enjoying, but the last quarter of the movie was just, yeah, that was kind of where it fell apart for me. Well, for one, they made it seem like Napoleon was hurrying back to France after escaping from Elba to see Josephine. And that was a total manipulation by Ridley Scott, because Josephine died right after he went into exile on Elba. So he wasn't coming back for her. He was coming back for France to reclaim the throne and to lead France back into glory and all that. So that was a total, tug at the heartstrings by Ridley Scott. I get that choice. Okay. Now, his Battle of Waterloo is a disaster. Absolute disaster. Not historically accurate at all. I mean, you can just tell, why is the French camp here? That should be like a mile behind the lines. And you can also see here, Ridley Scott wanted to build trenches, I guess, just to give the impression of something going on. That wouldn't really be done all that much. Like at Borodino, yeah, they had the Fletchers or whatever, the redoubts and all that. But an open field like this, no, that's not what would have happened. So Waterloo, his depiction of that is bad, very bad. I don't even know if has anybody got a clip of it. And the thing that really bugs me the most about it is you have this movie, Waterloo, 1970. An entire 2-hour movie devoted to the greatest battle in history. It's pretty accurate, does great scales. I mean, basically the Soviet army plays the British, French, and Prussian armies. They had 15,000 men to do it. It looks amazing. Absolutely amazing. And Ridley Scott's version of Waterloo isn't historically accurate. Oh, I lost the internet. It's not historically accurate. Doesn't look good. Looks like they got, just nothing about the Battle of Waterloo is accurate, I'll say. Let's see. But I mean, look at what these guys did in the 70s. No. All right, look at this. Yeah, look at this. This is us in march into Waterloo. That's all real men, no CGI, nothing. I mean, there's the old guard. I mean, everything. I mean, I can hear the music in my head. Yeah, look at that. Let's see. Now, there's like a one shot in this movie. That's just crazy. Can't remember where it is. I can't remember. Maybe it was this shot. Let's see. Come on. Yeah, look at this shot. There's LaHaye. And see how, well, when they filmed this, they actually had to plant all of this because this was farmland in real life at Waterloo. It would have been rye, would have been wheat, would have been barley. Now, in Ridley Scott's movie, this is just all green. It's all grass. I'm like, okay, fine. But I mean, the battlefield doesn't look right because you don't have Hougoumont, you don't have La Haye, you don't have the ridge. I mean, you don't have anything. But you look at this movie, it's like, oh my God. Now, Ridley, if you're going to do Waterloo, you got to do it justice. I mean, yeah, there's Hougoumont. Look at this one shot. That one shot was better than anything Ridley Scott did in the entire movie. And, I mean, look at this shot. Here's the French going to attack Hougoumont. And, of course, the music is blaring and it's awesome. Glory. Let's do this. Yeah, look at this shot. Yeah, there goes the cavalry. Amazing. Look at this shot. That is art, man. That is, yeah, this is Napoleonic warfare. They're marching in column. They're going to spread out into line. Yeah, see? Going through the woods, Hougoumont. Amazing, amazing. There's a charge of the Scots Greys. So yeah, if you haven't seen Waterloo, definitely check it out. I mean, it's for free on here on YouTube. Now they kind of quasi had the cavalry charge, Ridley Scott, but wasn't anything compared to this. Yeah, I mean, look at this. There's the cuirassiers. I mean, look at that. It's fucking nuts. Let's see. Yeah, here they are attacking the British squares. Now look at this helicopter shot coming up. Look at this. And again, this is all real. Real horses, real men, everything. Look at this shot. There's a reason why Waterloo won the Oscar for Best Cinematography in 1970. Yeah, look at that. Now, oddly enough, in my opinion, the only thing that, the only part that I really liked of Ridley Scott's depiction of the Battle of Waterloo was he showed in an accurate way how squares were formed. And I think that was the military advisor on the film who was on Critical Drinkers channel talking about the movie. Yeah, and that's the thing too. There was a lot of historians and movie reviewers who have talked about the movie that you guys should check out. Critical Drinker did several episodes, History Legends, even the Lotus Eaters talked about it. So I would recommend you guys check them out too. I mean, look at this. Here's the attack of the Old Guard. Guess what? In Ridley Scott's movie, this didn't even happen. Nope. Didn't even have the attack of the Old Guard. It's insane. It's insane. Now I get it. Budget reasons, filming, scheduling problems. You know, I get it. But there's no excuse for a movie in 2023 to not be better than a movie that came out 50 years ago. There's no excuse for it. No excuse for it. I mean, Jesus. Yeah. So, yeah, the last quarter of the movie I didn't like really at all. Oh, and by the way, when the Prussians show up at the Battle of Waterloo, in real life they came from the east, so they were attacking Napoleon's right flank. In Ridley Scott's movie, and I know, like I said, Ridley Scott knows his history. He's a smart man. He has them attacking from the left. He has them attacking from the west. He has them attacking Napoleon's left flank. Why? Exactly. No idea. No idea. And he did a decent job showing the retreat from Moscow and stuff, but it's just, yeah, man, just really that last quarter. The ending was okay. I liked the ending. It was all right. It's just really that whole Waterloo thing that just, I'm like, dude, surely you've seen the Sergei Bondarchuk movie, you know, so, and you're British, so you know how big of a deal Waterloo is. So for you to not do a great representation of that battle, there's no excuse. No excuse. Now, So basically, my opinion is the movie's eh. I mean, I guess well, first of all, I don't go into movies expecting them to be historically accurate. That always bugs me when historians bitch about that. I'm like, guys, I mean, there's like entire videos devoted to historically accurate movies and stuff. Like, I can't stand most of these guys, like history buffs. Can't stand them. Cannot stand history buffs. I hate this guy. I mean, it's just, yeah. I'm like, why are you going into these movies thinking they're going to be historically accurate? And then they will, because they're nitpicky, they always complain about small things. Like, dude, one, either who gives a fuck or people aren't going to know that. And I mean, it's just, yeah. And like, how many people know that the Prussians attacked from the east? Me and like 10 other guys, probably. So an average viewer is not going to give a shit. But the thing that historical movies can do is maybe inspire people to get into this stuff. Like the Napoleonic Wars is my favorite time period. What got me into the Napoleonic Wars? Well, it was a few things. One, it was Sergei Bondarchuk's Waterloo movie from 1970. But when I saw the movie, I didn't know any of this shit. I was like, oh, okay. And I was watching it on like a 12-inch TV screen at the time too. And I was watching it on VHS. So, I mean, wasn't really anything. Then I played the Waterloo video game. That really kind of got me into it. And then I got a Osprey book on the Battle of Waterloo. And that's what finally really got me into Napoleonic warfare. So it took a few things. But now, I can watch the Waterloo movie on a big screen TV, and it's just, orgasmic. So, maybe people seeing this will get them into the era. I mean, it's a fascinating era. It's why it's my favorite. You have revolutions. You have massive world wars. You got, human rights. You got the slave rebellions. I mean, you got the old world versus the new world. I mean, Napoleon ended the Knights of St. John's rule of Malta that had lasted since the Crusader days. He basically ended the Holy Roman Empire, which had been around since Charlemagne, 1,000 years before him. I mean, he found the Rosetta Stone. His army found the Rosetta Stone. Why are we able to understand hieroglyphics? Because of Napoleon. I mean, so much stuff happened here. That was another thing too, like with not just the field marshals, but they didn't go into Fouché. They really didn't go into Talleyrand. I mean, Talleyrand's probably one of the most famous and influential statesmen of all time. I mean, he did a lot. I mean, I think the reason why America got the Louisiana Purchase was because of him. So, yeah. And, epilogue notes that 3 million people died during the Napoleonic Wars. I mean, this was a big era, man. Big deal. And while all of this was going on, Lewis and Clark were going across North America. So much was going on. We had the War of 1812. We had the Haitian War of Independence. We had tons of stuff going on during this time. And it all pretty much revolved around Napoleon. So, I mean, there was just so much going on at this time. And yeah, I mean, a lot of these historian guys really bug me. Like, I remember there was one guy, I don't know, I think they call him the ditch guy or whatever. He's I think from Oxford or whatever. And, ditch. I'm just going to put in the ditch guy. Let's see what comes up. Yeah, this guy. This guy really bugs me. He was in a review of, I think it was Alexander, and he was complaining. I can't remember. Was it this one? He was complaining about the eyeliner used in the movie Alexander. He's like, oh, this is just homophobic and blah, 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 blah. They're trying to make the Asians look feminine and stuff. Yeah, I think it was this. Let's see. Yeah, he was complaining about the Persians having eyeliner and stuff. Let me see if I can find the actual But yeah, he was complaining about that, and I'm like, you do know they wore eyeliner in the Middle East because of the sun, right? They didn't have sunglasses back in the day. It's basically essentially just like, baseball and football players wearing eyeliner or eye black to take the glare out of the sun and the lights and everything. Um, yeah, let's see. I think he's about to say it. I don't know. But yeah, I, I just, oh, here we go. Yeah, racist depiction. Racist depiction. What the fuck? Oh, hello, Rihanna. Yeah, racist depiction. You know, flimsy warriors wearing eyeliner. What are you fucking talking about, ass? I mean, why do you think the ancient Egyptians wore that eyeliner? I think it was called kohl or whatever. It's because it kept the fucking glare of the sun out of their eyes. You know how easy it is to go blind in the desert from see. But that's the thing. You know what? The thing that really bugs me is the arrogance of historical people. Because I'm a historical guy, but I'm also like, who knows? At the end of the day, who knows? I mean, I have so many history books that contradict each other, like Alexander's Battle at Hydaspes. I got books that say, oh, it was an easy victory. He only lost like 100 men. I got other ones that say it was a hard fought victory and he lost 1,000 men. So it's just, we have to have humility with history because at the end of the day, we don't know. And, that's the thing with Scott saying, somebody writes a book and then somebody takes a book and, I asked, excuse me, mate, were you there? No? Well, shut the fuck up. Now, that's extreme, and that's not respectful to historical record and all of that. But, were we there? No. So, have a little humility. That's why you can't go into movies expecting them to be, Yeah, I did like this line. The French don't even like themselves. He's an angry old man, but it's pretty funny. Pretty fucking funny. But don't go into this movie expecting it to be historically accurate and just enjoy the spectacle. The battles, for the most part, don't make sense. That's okay. Not expecting the 80-year-old movie director to now understand Napoleonic tactics and all of that. I mean, even in the Sergei Bondarchuk movie, formations weren't, 100%, but, just understand these guys went through a lot of trouble to make this movie and they did what they could. Now I'm looking forward to the 4-hour director's cut. Hopefully that's way better. Hopefully that's like the director's cut for Kingdom of Heaven and all of that. But we'll see. We'll see. But as far as this movie goes, it's all right. I mean, I'm probably not going to watch it again. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'd rather watch the director's cut. But I do want to see this with my fiance because the romantic scenes between Josephine and Napoleon were hilarious. This horny Napoleon was just the funniest thing I've seen all year. So, I mean, just watch it, have fun, and don't take it too seriously. Hopefully, like I said, the director's cut is more accurate and just, better. But we'll see. We'll see. But, yeah, guys, so check it out. I think if you're into history, you'll enjoy it. But just understand it's not really accurate and it could be better. I mean, this figure in history deserves a massive, massive TV series. Like, I mean, you look at all the money they're pissing away on, the Rings of Power. I mean, I think Amazon has spent like $1 billion on that show. And it's trash. It's horrible. It's nothing. Imagine if somebody put like $500 million towards a Napoleon TV series. I mean, if you need extras for the armies and stuff, just go to the British, go to the French, go to the Germans, go to the Russians and say, hey, we're doing a massive series on the Napoleonic Wars. Your nations were involved. Most of their glory comes from this war. I mean, would you be willing to loan us a regiment? And, we'll teach them the field manual. We'll give them the weapons, the uniforms, and everything, and we'll do your nation justice. And the men who fought in this time period, we'll do them justice. Will you loan us a regiment and blah, 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 blah. And I think really go out and do the story of Napoleon, the Napoleonic Era, world history. Do it. Do it 40 episodes or whatever, an hour each. Do it justice. Do it respectfully. Do it accurately. But also show the ugliness of it. I mean, this was a horrible time period in many respects. I mean, the Haitian War of Independence was horrible. I mean, it was the most ugly war you can imagine. It was racial. It was slavery. It was, killing innocents left and right. Genocide, practically, on both sides. It was horrible. Same thing in Spain. I mean, the War of Haitian Independence was just a prelude to the Peninsula War. I mean, that was horrible. Hundreds of thousands of people were killed in that, violently. So, I mean, hell, the retreat from Moscow, 500,000 Frenchmen dead. Maybe 600,000, actually, yeah. We don't even fucking know. And they're still finding the mass graves of Frenchmen in Russia. To this day, they're still finding them. The Russians didn't get off easy either. They lost about 400,000 men. That's 1 million people, not counting civilians. In like a, 5-month period in 1812? My God. Like, this deserves respect. This deserves to be told. And I hope one day somebody will. But it takes a lot of money. I mean, this one movie to cost maybe $200 million, plus $100 million on marketing, most likely. So, it just takes a lot. Takes a lot. But it's worth doing, and it's worth doing right. I mean, why haven't we had a full-on 40-episode series on World War II, World War I, the American Civil War? I mean, all of this stuff. These are real stories. These are real people, and deserves to be told. I wish people stop going to see Aquaman 2 and the Marvels and all this stupid shit and actually focus on real stuff, important stuff, stuff that makes us look at the past and look at ourselves. What would I have done in this situation? What can I do to be a better man or woman? What can I do to be a better person? If you don't like slavery from the past, well, take a look around. There's more slaves in the world now than there were ever before. Maybe do something to combat that. So, it's like what they say, the history isn't dead. It's not even past. Every moment it's being made. So, get out there and help make history. So, yeah, but anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this, and sorry to go on forever, but hey, I had a lot to say about this movie and this time period, so take it easy, guys, and Happy New Year.